And straightforwardly, let's move into the reason why you're here tonight, to outline your vision for what you have termed the global push. The global push. I understand that last week you sent a letter to the Attorney General of the United States regarding the Kansas City 3. Could you deliberate the key message that you intended to convey in this letter?
Yes, Fadi, thank you for the question. I did send my letter to the Attorney General of the Federation of the United States and copied the Secretary of State, Mr. Anthony Blinken. I wanted to draw his attention to the plight of 3 Amazonian Americans from the states of New York, Minnesota, and Missouri, who are being held behind bars for almost 2 years now, without bail and without trial, for charges which I think it should help to review and really look into the matter, because they are being charged they are levied charges of terrorism on them for contributing money to support their families, their communities that are under attack by the Cameroonian state. I wrote to the Attorney General to consider this matter within the context of what is happening on the ground, because you cannot understand the actions of these Americans until you understand the context of the conflict or the war that is ongoing in Amazon. This is a war that has been declared on the families and communities of these Americans by the Cameroon state. Their occupation forces are all over their communities, burning their villages, killing their family members, destroying their communities and even their properties. And so the community decided to organize itself to defend themselves against these cruel forces. And they contributed efforts and money to help their communities defend themselves. And I drew the attention of the Attorney General that contributing funds to defend oneself, one's property, one's family, or one's community, or anyone that is in danger is a fundamental human right to all Americans. And that you should look at the treatment of these Americans of Southern Cameroon origin should take into consideration this reality, and that you should also consider that as Africans, we see a double standard here. A double standard because whatever these Americans of Southern Cameroon origin have been charged with are what Americans have done, and many, even more, have done in support of Ukraine. Ukrainian Americans have done so. Israeli Americans have contributed money in support of their families and communities in the West Bank and in Gaza to help give them whatever the means they needed to survive and defend themselves against terrorism. They have not been prosecuted. I wrote to the Attorney General to say that it will be good to look into this matter so that Africans are not giving the mixed signals here, because Is it because this are they being prosecuted because of who they are or because of what they did? Because if because of what they did, what is it that they have done that Ukrainian Americans have not done for Ukraine, or Israeli Americans or Palestinian Americans have not done for their people? So that is a double standard, which I drew the attention of the Attorney General to look into it and show leniency and dismiss this kind of case so that as Americans, we know exactly what America stands for, what Americans can do, their color notwithstanding, irrespective of their color or their origin, what Americans can do within the laws of America.
You mentioned that the stakeholders or statement who are over this situation might not be aware of our situation or case and the context of it. Do you think that could be the case, or it could just be an oversight?
Well, before a matter gets to court, it passes through law enforcement agencies who investigate the matters before they take it to the prosecution desk for it to be a case in court. So I don't know at what level the ignorance is of the situation or the decision to ignore the reality, the truth about the matter, because it is either or. It could be that some are ignorant within the judicial apparatus, beginning from the attorney general and to the district attorneys and to the investigative agencies like the FBI or the court itself. I don't know where the ignorance is or the decision to um, to treat this one disparately, differently from others, or to consider them as criminals and not others. We can choose these ones as the criminal Americans for what they are doing here as criminals and what other Americans are doing for Ukraine for other countries. We know this. It is a fact. It is in the open. For that reason, I don't know where the ignorance is coming from or where the decision to deal with this matter in this manner is concerned. But we should remember that the Attorney General is the head of the Justice Department and the driver of President Biden's judicial policies. So we want to draw his attention for him to look into it. It is very possible that those under you in the department as large as this Justice Department can be carrying out some actions, and you are not really privy to the details of what they are dealing with until they are brought to your attention, and that's what I did.